Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. You know, in all of my years living by the water, I have never encountered a vortex, come to think of it, and I would love the opportunity to do just that. And you're saying to yourself, hey Jonathan Clarke, don't you know a vortex and what's inside of it can kill you? I know, that's what makes it so exciting. Good morning to all of you. It is only 9:05 a.m. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, so proud to have been your voice of Descendants and Zombies for the last 10 years. Thinking about encountering a vortex seems very mysterious of a guy this morning on YouTube, but I would love to do that because everybody is now wondering what is inside of that vortex. So I thought about going on a boating expedition and finding out just what was inside of that vortex for each and every one of you. Somebody's got to do it. Because it's one thing to sit behind your podcast microphone on your YouTube show and talk about what was inside of a vortex that we have no idea what's inside of it or what the vortex details at this point. So there's no better way to do it. And there go the cops. There's obviously a zombie apocalypse breaking out at this very moment. So if I have to jump through my window, I do apologize. Whatever is about this show, every time a show is being recorded or streamed, there is a zombie apocalypse breaking out outside my window. Every single morning, never fails. That's the advantages of living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. You never know when it's going to explode, and one can never be too prepared. You know, one is going to create Descendants of Zombies videos for each and every one of you. He not only has to think like Descendants of Zombies, he has to live like Descendants of Zombies. Because talking about Descendants of Zombies is really not going to emphasize the critical points that need to be highlighted and have the spotlight given to. Like many of the stars of the Descendants franchise, Kylie, Ruby, Malia, beautiful characters, and I think they have received their fair share of criticism for far long enough. Just yesterday I saw Kylie Control throwing up some beautiful videos from some music that she had recorded for her EP. Kylie Control very proud of how far she's come, and she has every reason to be proud because recording an EP independently, which Kylie Control and Meg Donnelly have done more recently, is very difficult to do. It's very difficult to perceive yourself for being how you want to be perceived, more so than a record label that produces you on its own. Now that Kylie Control has gone solo, producing music independently with the help of her father, she's doing a great job. And I have all the credit in the world to give and all the respect, mad respect for Kylie Control. So I just want to put it out there that if we do have critics of Kylie Control out there, they're going to have to deal with me. A year and a half ago, they never had to deal with me. They never had to listen to me talking about Kylie and Ruby, as proud as I was of them. Now they do, because this YouTube channel will forever and always be here for you, the people who love Kylie, the people who have stood by Ruby for forever. And I am so proud to commentate on Kylie and Ruby's friendship, to talk about Kylie and Malia, putting their friendship on display in such wonderful ways, demonstrating just how powerful a friendship between two girls can be. And I, for one, don't see the point of criticizing it because I think a friendship between two girls is really beautiful. They're always commenting on each other's social status, saying they're beautiful and gorgeous. They're always there showing a tremendous amount of support for each other. So I think that that is something to be given a profound amount of credit for, because if you can have a friendship with another girl in your lifetime that you can hold on to and keep for forever, then you've got really something special. And that's coming directly from the heart of a guy who just sees it for what it's worth. So do I deserve to be criticized for that? No, not necessarily. I know people are going to criticize me and really take away my credibility for saying that, but I think that while people are criticizing Kylie Control and Malia Baker and presenting the argument for all these rumors to be derived from what we have seen at only 9:08 a.m. in the morning, which I don't really want to have to get into, I think that we need to be shedding more of a positive spotlight and giving it more of a positive vibe, because really Descendants has encouraged us that dreams can happen for anybody, regardless of what that dream is. And if one wants to spend he or she's life wondering what was inside of that vortex for the rest of their life, or at least the next year, I see nothing wrong with that, because I've been reading down through some of the comments about what could have been inside of that vortex. Everything has been suggested, from sirens to witches to mermaids to even pirates. And the interesting thing about this island that I live on, there are a lot of legendary stories about pirates. There's actually a haunted graveyard literally a half an hour away from where I live. It won't take us very long to get there, but there is a haunted graveyard where a pirate was buried over 100 years ago, and his legacy is very infamous with this island. So this island is associated with a lot of stories. I say this because mermaids, pirates, witches have been associated with this island for forever. And I can't forget to mention how this island is the most haunted place in the country of Canada. So this place here reminds me a lot of Descendants and Zombies for its legendary tales. And that's why I love to tell you legendary tales that I have heard over the years. I know I've only been alive for over 4 decades, but in the 4 decades I've been alive, I've been a part of every part of the Disney Revolution. For those of you who are unfamiliar about what the Disney Revolution was and what it entails, it was a time when Disney moved in from traditional animation into live-action TV shows such as Hannah Montana, Wizards, and Sweet Life, and then eventually branched off a High School Musical to what we are now. What we're seeing now, of course, Descendants and Zombies, which are two of the most powerful franchises in the history of Disney Channel and Disney Plus. I don't think Disney Channel and Disney Plus has gotten great reviews since High School Musical, to be honest with each and every one of you, because the shows, and especially the movies, really haven't been movies that we've fallen in love with, or at least not until now. Because more people are falling in love with Descendants and Zombies for a number of different reasons. If you haven't already figured it out or realized it, it's because of the powerful messages, the powerful cast, how much of an inspiration we draw from people like Ruby, Kylie, and Malia, and their friendship, which I can't seem to get enough of. So what I mean by I can't seem to get enough of it is every single time Kylie throws up a video on her Facebook fan page, for instance, I like it. Every single time Ruby throws up a video on her Facebook fan page, I like it, which is never enough. I think Ruby is the most socially inactive celebrity of the Descendants cast, and for the life of me, I don't know why. Ruby, I want to put it out there. For whatever reason you're hiding, you don't have to. And you don't have to be afraid to post stuff on social media. You don't have to be afraid to be yourself, because we support you and we love you. And this guy actually cares about the Descendants stars and cares about the Descendants universe and how they feel about their opinions sometimes being taken for granted. So for whatever reason you're hiding, Ruby, I would rather you post stuff on social media and just be yourself. I want to offer encouragement to Ruby to just be herself and come from out of obscurity, and let us know what's up, Ruby. Actually, come to think of it, I did see Ruby post a a story, they call it, on social media the other day. It wasn't much of a story, but it was nice seeing Ruby actually post something for the first time in a while after being socially inactive. But, Ruby doesn't have to explain herself to me. None of the Descendant stars have to explain themselves to me. I have to explain myself to you because I have an itchy nose this morning, Ruby. But I know why they're pretty much not posting as much on social media. The reason is because they just don't like all the negative reviews that they're receiving. And they have received their fair share of criticism because of the color scheme of Descendants. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Of course, the color scheme of Bridget was pink because that was her favorite color. The color scheme of Red was red because the Queen of Hearts color was always red, very vibrant. And, of course, the color scheme of Chloe Charming was blue, of course, representing Cinderella's gown. One of the greatest stories of all time from Cinderella that I always remembered for the last at least 20 years when I first heard about it was the gown that was made for the live-action Cinderella in 2015 was the length of a sidewalk, which means it would take you over 45 minutes to walk the fabric of Cinderella's gown. I have a friend who is a big fan of Cinderella. I'll tell you that story in a moment. But the thing is, I just wish these stars of Descendants would really just start Googling themselves again and start posting more and just not being afraid, really not care about what people think of them, because they really don't have to. Because the thing is, the Descendant stars have taught us not to care what anybody thinks of us. So they need to feel the same way. They need to really practice what they are preaching. The old cliche saying goes that was taught to my mom years ago. My mom spent 30 years of her life before she passed away as a school teacher. She taught grade 4 and 5. The most of her career she taught grade 5 eventually when she was moved up a level. But she spent 30 years trying to instill in the minds of everybody that kindness really does go a long way in this world. And I feel as if 30 years later, after 20 years ago she passed away, I'm sitting here on this podcast microphone trying to instill that same message of kindness in everybody's heart. I have a friend who loves Cinderella so much. And her dad always used to call her Cinderella when she was a child, probably about 6, 7 years old. And Cinderella's always been her favorite Disney princess. And I think that, and that's the reason why, because her dad used to call her Cinderella. I think that everybody has a favorite Disney princess, and that's where the inspiration from Descendants has really been drawn. No matter if your favorite Disney princess was Cinderella from the original Disney princess lineup. Snow White, who was a beautiful girl, the very first silent movie ever produced by, turned into a classic that was a silent movie originally produced by Walt Disney. Or Sleeping Beauty, who was always one of my favorites, who was never given a profound amount of credit. I preferably have loved the original Disney Princess lineup, and I'll tell you why I've loved the original Disney Princess lineup, because so many princesses were a part of the Disney Princess lineup originally, like Tinkerbell, who was after removed. They were just so beautiful, and I think that including names such as Cinderella in the Disney Princess lineup and Snow White was really a true testament to how legendary these characters actually are. And that's why there's no doubt in my mind that the cast of Descendants will go down in history for having been legends. If Miley Cyrus can go down in history for being the youngest Disney legend in history just last year, then I truly believe that these Descendant stars will have that same honor bestowed upon them. How and when? I really don't know, but I think we can decipher how. It's because of all of you, and because of how much you love each and every one of them. Do I think they will go down in history for being Disney legends? Sure I do, because I've been a fan of Disney all of my life, and I can see a Disney legend before Disney ever does. I've been a part of this for 40 years, and I've enjoyed every single moment of it. Ever since I was 6 years old, I knew what Disney was, and I knew how to speak. And I knew how to transist my voice on a microphone since the age of 13. I have been trying to relay a message of positivity and kindness to everybody because that's what you deserve to hear on YouTube. So that's why one can only hope that someone is going to find my thumbnail and click on it this morning and click on it throughout today, because this show is really what's up. This show really knows what's happening. And this show really wants to talk about it for what it's worth. And I see nothing wrong. I'm here to tell you, I see nothing wrong with you believing in happily ever after. I see nothing wrong with you believing that a dream can happen for you, because I've never ever wanted to take it away from you. I've always wanted to encourage you that everything that you want to set out to do in life and accomplish can happen for you. If not today, if not maybe tomorrow, eventually. It's just a matter of when, where, and how you're going to seize that opportunity presented to you. I mean, you take, for instance, my friend's favorite princess, Cinderella. Beautiful girl, by the way. She's such an inspiration to so many people. She loves to paint, she loves to sing, and I wish her all the best in her future. Cinderella always wanted to attend a ball and fall in love and find her true love, and she got the opportunity to do it. She may have needed the assistance of a lot of mice. I believe one of her friends' names was Jack, one of the mice in the movie. But the mice really did help her sew a gown together and get her to the ball. No matter how she had to do it, she wanted to achieve her dream of acceptance and loyalty and respect. She wanted everybody to respect her, and she got that dream to happen, even if it meant she had to wish upon a star. And I think that's really where a dream actually starts. It's from a wish that your heart makes, like Cinderella taught us many years ago. So perhaps I should probably be watching more Cinderella than I used to when I was 6 years old and used to sit in front of my TV with a bowl of chicken noodle soup when I had the common cold and watch Cinderella. I guess all my years of being a Disney fan is really paying off with these videos. Oh my God, I'm getting really emotional. It happens to me every once in a while when I record a video about Disney, and some girl is watching this video crushing on Jonathan Clarke saying, man, this guy is really sweet. I have to subscribe to his YouTube channel because I cannot live with those videos. If you are saying that to yourself this morning, thank you so much. I am here to help you make sense of Descendants and Zombies, and I'm going to do just that. I don't know if I'll ever go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, and, well, for sure I'll go down in history for having loved Ruby Rose Turner all of my life, but there is no greater honor in my life that I would rather want to have than being the voice of Descendants and Zombies for the better part of the last 10 years. And what a 10-year ride it truly has been. You know, who out there was never a fan of Dove Cameron? Who out there was never a fan of Sophia Carson for the portrayals of the characters Mal and Evie, who had no backstories whatsoever, but they brought those characters to life with such passion and such desire, which made me proud to be a fan of Descendants, which made me proud to have watched it for the very first time in 2015, thinking this franchise still had a long way to go and so many valuable life lessons left to be taught, but that didn't mean that we couldn't get there. And we eventually did. We got to a point where the music got better, the script got more detailed, they believed they had told the story and completed it and moved on. We were all sad, we cried a few tears, and then show up Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner knocking at her door, saying they were going to take over the Descendants franchise, and they were going to do the absolute best they could to really bring this one to life. And they really did. And I think they deserve a profound amount of credit. They don't deserve to be criticized or be afraid to Google themselves or Bing themselves, because I think that Google and Microsoft are real idiots for how they don't, treat this with total respect like it deserves, because they're allowing people to upload these videos and they are allowing people to shed light on this in such a negative way that I don't think it deserves to have done. Because you guys deserve to hear nothing but the best in the way of positive reviews of Descendants and Zombies, and I think there really is something that can be done about it. I mean, more people can come together. They can show the outpouring of love and support for Descendants of Zombies that it's been deserved to have showed to it for forever. And I just wanted to give that, guys, to you, even if it meant having to move into a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. I didn't intend to move into a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could have exploded. That was never my intention. It just, for some reason, some way, somehow happened for me. You know, I found this house, I thought about the story of Descendants of Zombies, and I said to myself, this is a perfect opportunity. Not only can I talk about Descendants of Zombies for kids, but I can live in a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode. So I signed the lease, I moved in, I've been here ever since. It's funny how things happen to you in your lifetime. You know, you end up in the most craziest of situations, but it all pays off in the end, because the more I think about it, you know, a year and a half ago, I didn't have each and every one of you. But now I do. And I've just wanted to honor that. I've just always wanted to be here with you every single morning with a Descendants of Zombies video, no matter what my take was on Descendants of Zombies, no matter how I was feeling. I just wanted to give Kylie Cantrell and Liam Baker the praise they deserved. I wanted to be there for Ruby Rose Turner, who has been turned down, for those of you who don't know, for more roles in Hollywood than ever before, more than anyone. Ruby's been refused. I don't know if it's because they don't realize how much of a talent Ruby Rose Turner is, how much her worth truly is, but I just want to put it out there that, you know, guys, you've really got to wake up, and you've got to give Ruby Rose Turner more of an opportunity. Ruby has never been more proud to entertain so many beautiful people, and that's all she's ever wanted to do. I know how Ruby's mind works. Ruby just sits alone some nights and just looks up at the ceiling, and she says to herself, you know, why me? The thing is, Ruby is so full of talent and so full of life, and I think she's being overshadowed by the Sabrina Carpenters of the world, and we've got to do something about that. She's really being overshadowed, because here's Sabrina Carpenter just being handed the role of Rapunzel in Tangled, and I have an issue with that. Here's where my issue lies with that. Sabrina Carpenter is way overrated. She's one of the most popular artists in the world, but she's being talked about way too much. So too is Taylor Swift. So I think we need to talk more about people like Ruby Rose Turner. We need to notice people more like Ruby Rose Turner, and we need to give Ruby Rose Turner a chance to be Rapunzel and see what she can do with it. You know, if I was the director of Tangled, which I wish more than anything that I was, because the first person I would call is Ruby Rose Turner. I would look Sabrina Carpenter in the face. I would say, Sabrina, there's the door. Don't let you hit it on the way out. And then I would call Ruby. I've got somebody else. Ruby's a beautiful person who deserves more of an opportunity. And I think that we can do something about this. You know, people like Kylie and Ruby don't have to cry anymore. I mean, sure, they're the stars of a very popular franchise, Descendants, but Descendants really is a proving ground. And for those of you who don't know what a proving ground is in entertainment, is where you really shine and you show your fullest potential so that more opportunities can be given to you, like Meg Donnelly. Meg Donnelly was the star of Zombies. Now she's the producer and the writer of Zombies, so she has more creative control. You see, the reason why they leave these franchises behind is because they want to have creative freedom. And I think that if Descendants and Zombie stars were given that creative freedom, we would have a lot of happy people. You know, it wasn't until Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, when they work with people from New Zealand, because people in New Zealand are generally happy, that they were happy themselves. And I love Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires for its story. I loved how the setup of the passing of the torch happened, because it was a moment in time. It was really history that we were a part of. And I was more proud than anything I'd ever been a part of in my entire life to be a part of this passing of the torch and a legacy being created and being seen to be derived from all the previous success of Zombies and the success we have yet to see. Because who out there wasn't proud to be a part of the Zombies franchise? I think Zombies will forever and always hold a very special place in our hearts. Just because it represented second chances. It involved somebody finding true love, even if it was with a girl and a zombie. True love was existence in that movie. And I think that it represented so much of an opportunity for us to really broaden our horizons, to go out and make something of ourselves. Because that movie truly was an inspiration. If you looked up the definition of inspiration in the English dictionary, you would have seen zombies, a picture of zombies perhaps in the English dictionary. And I want to say thank you to the writers and producers of Zombies for doing that for us. Do I think the story for Zombies is over? I think we still have a long way to go, and we still have so much more of a story to be told with Zombies, and I'll have more on this later on today on my show if you care to join me for it, because Zombies really touched my heart. Zombies has touched my heart since 2018. I remember the first Zombies movie when it premiered. I loved it so much. I wanted to see zombies more than anything else in the world, and I got the opportunity to do it. And I got the opportunity to review something that has forever and always held a special place in my heart, and I haven't looked back since. I have no regrets. So too do I have no regrets for having reviewed Descendants, the original Descendants with the original stars, or this new cast, despite all the criticism they have received. And oh my God, have they ever received criticism. From the color schemes to the plots, there is still a long way to go with Descendants and Zombies. And I think that we can help it get there. As long as we just outpouring of love and support, and just let people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker know that we are forever and always going to be a part of their life, and we are never ever going to quit on them. That's what I love so much about the Descendants and Zombies universe, is that you don't quit on who and what you love. I mean, for forever and always, you have been supportive of me, and incredibly supportive of me, and honestly, it works both ways. I don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. I'd just be some guy sitting behind his podcast microphone every morning of his life talking about Descendants and Zombies and probably getting nowhere with it. But because of each and every one of you, I'm able to create this show. I'm able to distribute this show finally for the first time in 25 years the way that I've always wanted to distribute this show, even if it means me talking about being on a boating expedition and encountering a vortex. And again, there's some girl laughing out there saying, Jonathan Clarke, don't you realize that whatever inside of that vortex can and will kill you? I've never ever thought about it that way. I just always wanted to be a hero on the water. And by the way, I will kick the ass of zombies either on the water or on the land. It doesn't matter, in the air. I'll do it out of an airplane if I got to, because I've always wanted to live the Tom Cruise life, baby. And you can make that happen for me by hitting the subscribe button, so I can go, I love you, Addison. I love you, Addison. You know, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button, and we'll have the greatest Zombies movie and the greatest experience of our life, because I've always wanted to live the Tom Cruise life. I've just never had the opportunity to do it. I've been very fortunate in my career, but I can never recall a time where I can actually have the opportunity to have lived the Tom Cruise life. It looks actually quite fun. These movies look like a time of your life experience, and no doubt Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim have shed the light on how much of a fun experience this has been. By the way, does anyone know the cure for an itchy nose? Every morning I wake up, I think I have an itchy nose. I think it's sinus, and I've had it all of my life, but ever since I started recording Descendants and Zombies videos, I've had this really itchy nose every morning. I'm going to have to get out of here and go do something about it, probably have some chicken noodle soup like I used to have when I was 5 years old, when I used to cry myself to sleep watching Cinderella. We just haven't got to tell anybody that. That's why I have a very good friendship with a girl who loves Cinderella so much, and she's trying to figure out her life, and I have no doubt in my mind that she's going to be able to do that. Some of the greatest friends that I've ever made in my life are fans of Disney, and you guys are some of my greatest friends and some of my greatest treasures. And I just want to say thank you so much for having made this YouTube channel really the love of my life, and something that I really do enjoy, creating beautiful videos for you about Descendants and Zombies, because I think never more of a positive vibe has ever been presented about Descendants and Zombies. You know, I was looking at YouTube the other night, and I was looking down through all the videos, and you guys really haven't got much to choose from when it comes to Descendants and Zombies videos. So I just wanted to kind of create something special for each and every one of you that you could run away with something from. No matter if that was my message of kindness, how I believe there's never enough kindness or kind words in this lifetime because there really aren't. Or how a girl can fall in love with a zombie. Even if it is with a zombie, a girl can and will find her true love within a zombie's heart. This franchise has changed our lives for forever. And I am so proud to be able to sit in front of this podcast microphone every morning of my life and have talked about Descendants and Zombies in the way that I truly believe that it's meant to be talked about for what feels like forever. So the way this show works, for those of you who are new here, hi, by the way, it is an honor to meet you all. My name is Jonathan Clarke, and yes, I do have the biggest crush in the world on Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner, forever and always have and forever and always will, which means I will forever and always support them. So the way this show works is that later on this afternoon, I don't know what time really, but later on this afternoon and later on this evening, there will be a few more podcasts uploaded on this YouTube channel, which I invite you to join me for, because I've got a lot to say where Descendants and Zombies go, and I can't do it without you. I can't do it without you hitting the subscribe or the like button, because 50,000 likes, 50,000 subscribers later, and I will be the most famous voice to ever talk about Descendants and Zombies in the history of these two franchises, two of the most powerful, We still have a long way to go. The journey is far from over, but I'm excited to see where this journey takes us. This incredible journey, this magic carpet ride, if you would, that you girls have got me on, and I've never felt more appreciative to have been in this position to become your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and to have been it for the last decade. A lineage, pretty much, that I have never ever forgotten about. I know for sure that I will never forget the profound impact that Descendants and Zombies left on my heart forever and always. Thank you so much for allowing me to have been just that. So I want you to know that kindness really does go a long way in this world, and you never know how much kindness can affect somebody until you show somebody kindness. It could be somebody on your school bus that you sit behind every morning, somebody in your class you sit in front of or behind every morning, who are just waiting for the words, I love you. School starts in a couple of weeks, so there's been never more of an opportunity to do that for somebody in your lifetime. Hug them, let them know that you love them, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. I trust in you all, I believe in you all, because dreams really do go further than you realize. And I want you to be kind to each other. That's all I've ever wanted from you. And please, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like buttons, because you will find your light. I know that sounds like Cloud from Final Fantasy, but because I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, I'm using Cloud's quote. You will find your light, because you really will, no matter how far away that light seems to be. I love you all so very much. I will be back later on this afternoon. Keep kindness in your heart as I will keep you in mine. Bye, YouTube. With that having been said, we will talk in a few hours from now, because kindness really does go a long way in this world as we all try to find our light.